Welcome back to Retro Inc. with myself, Adam, Andy, and welcome back, Jeremy. Nice to see you.
Hello there.
Sir, you all right, mate?
I am now, thank you.
Who's this?
Good.
Who's this person?
Some bloke off Chris Moyles, apparently.
Dominic, the Chris Boyle show. Yeah.
So, Andy, you had a very busy day there clearing out some of your stock.
Done another little boot fair.
Yeah, you did a good boot fair. Chili Boot for the Soul was our previous episode, wasn't it?
That was a while back. That was.
Was it a chilly day today, or was it a nice day?
Oh, it bloody was this morning, mate. When I got in the van and it said 5 degrees, and and I was a little bit nippy, but a quick McDonald's bagel and a toffee nut latte soon warmed me up on the way there.
Nice.
I had to get changed. It was the only place open to get changed. That was my excuse.
Good excuse.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, forgot to get it last night. The poor guy at the drive-through. It's like, can I have that in 50s,
tell us what you sold. Tell us what you sold, because we saw it. You sent us a picture, but what did you have? You had some Black Series, I noticed.
I did. I sold some Black Series. I sold some Star Wars books. I sold some Star Wars tat. I sold some just general geeky stuff, mate. There was loads I had there, just junk that I've got laying about. Because like I said to you, I'm trying to focus, and I think that's what I spoke about on Chili Boot for the Soul as well, was trying to focus. And it's got to that point where there's just a lot of stuff I suddenly realised it's been sitting in a box or a room for a year, 2 years, and I've not even looked at it. And some of it I just had to be vigilant and go, get rid of it. You know, and I haven't sold all of it, and some of those bits may sit up there back in that room again. But, you know, focusing is focusing, and you've got to start getting rid of some of the junk. Do I really need 2 Yoda Pez dispensers? And quite frankly, do I even need one? But when do I need one that's opened and one that's still in its packaging from like 1992 that has Pez in it that are probably, you know... Someone bought it with their kid, and I said, "You cannot feed that kid those candies because they've been in there since 1992." And she went, "Okay," and walked off. I'm sure that kid ate them. Not my fault. Right? Okay. Doesn't annoy me sometimes though with that, because there's collectors on that.
You did pass on one thing that you were going to sell, didn't you? Beforehand, you gave your daughter a radar, didn't you? Which was
Forces of Destiny one, yeah. Which was a beautiful moment actually. It was. I told you we sat down and properly watched the Star Wars film nearly in its entirety until she just wanted to see Darth Maul cut in half for Star Wars Day. And obviously she's always shown an interest because Daddy likes it. But she came in and I was putting stuff in the boxes to take, and I looked at her and I thought, I'd rather her play with it. You know, of course I would. I'm going to get £1, £2 for this at a boot fair. Like, I might as well just give it to her. And I gave it to her and her eyes lit up and she was like, "Thank you, Daddy," right off into her room. And then a couple of minutes later I heard noises and I peeked round, and there she was playing with it for a good sort of 5-10 minutes, making karate chop noises. And as my daughter has this weird obsession with undressing every doll that she gets, Ray was naked on her bed. And I did say to my wife, I'm surprised it took, you know, she unclothed an effigy of Daisy Ridley before I did. So, she played with that, which is nice. She's got that up there and she really loves it. But I'm kind of glad I gave it to her. But yeah, I just to clear out, mate. There's, you know, I had some old posters laying about that, you know, just sitting there. I had some bits and bobs and things that I just don't need.
And you're saving this money that you got from the car boot, along with your other savings, to buy a new car.
Ironically, a car boot for a car, yeah. How did I get there? Who knows?
Nice full Capri.
Better, isn't it?
A nice full. What about a Ford Mexico? Ford Escort XR3i. Ford Fiesta XR2.
My first ever car was a
Mark 1 Golf
RS Mexico.
Yeah, nice.
My first ever car cost me £350. It lasted about 2 weeks because I decided that it was quite a nippy car. But there's a humpback bridge near me, and I thought, I wonder how fast I can go over that. And I got air, and the suspension came through the bonnet when we landed.
So
that was that.
You were doing a Dukes of Hazzard with it.
I was pretending I was in the car with no name.
That's brilliant.
Mine was a Renault 5 Gordini, which was a really beefy Renault 5. You know, they had the spoils on the back and just beefed up rear twin.
I'm not sure you can beef up a Renault 5.
Oh, you could. Yeah, this is a rally version. Yeah.
Clio. That was my first one.
Was it?
Oh, I wrote off a Clio once, rather remarkably.
Yeah.
Yeah, rolled it on the motorway. A wonderful job of
Amazing.
that.
So I've only been driving 6 years.
Have you?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Just before my daughter was born, I learned because I had to because my daughter was being born. Before that,
Yeah.
I worked in pubs for a long time, so I was too drunk 90% of the time to actually drive. It was futile. Plus, I lived in the pub. I mean, where did I drive? I didn't drive to go out. I just went downstairs. You know, it was not a necessity. And then we was like, you know, hang on, I'm bringing a small child into this world. I have to be responsible and do stuff. So yeah, let's drive. Yeah.
I've been driving 30 years now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Probably when you took your test, you didn't actually have a test. You just bought keys, didn't you? And you had a man walking. Did you have a man walking in front of the car waving a flag
Yes,
to let
right.
people
No,
know you
like
were
the
coming?
Flintstones, we used to have to just run along with
Jump
our
in.
feet underneath the car and
Nice.
try not to run over the pterodactyls and the saber-toothed tigers.
I'm actually going to throw this out to the audience, to the audience, to the listeners, to see if any of them are whether or not this is a true fact or not. But this is something because I hate saying facts and then finding out they're just those things that you hear and they're not true. I believe that two of the first cars in the UK actually crashed into each other. It's something I've heard. You know, they have the men walking with front of the flags, didn't they? Yeah, but they actually crashed into each other because neither of them knew how to get out of the way or what the law was because there wasn't any road laws. So they were just like coming at each other and crashed.
I think that's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah, not in straight
In the
into each other, but they swerved
But
and went over. And...
do you know where
The
the
first
same one
traffic
for the
light
road
blew up and
from?
killed a policeman, didn't they?
Didn't it?
Yeah, I think the first traffic light, when they trying to make them go, they blew up and killed a near policeman, which was nice.
Yeah, see, you know the saying "one for the road." Do you know where that comes from? That saying?
No.
It's where years ago there was the road from Oxford to London, which is now known as Oxford Street,
Yeah.
and they used to take the criminals from Oxford to be tried in
Like
London.
the way he said we.
And if it was a criminal that hadn't done anything particularly bad, you know, that he hadn't killed anyone, they would stop off at an inn and have one for the road.
Oh.
There we are.
Oh, fair enough. That's fair enough. I like that. I do like sayings when you hear about them, like enough room to swing a cat. Do you know where that comes from?
The Navy.
Cat of nine tails. Yeah.
Letting the cat out of the bag.
Whipping them in, letting the cat out of the bag. And what's the other one? I can't remember now.
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Is that going on under
Pull
the
the other
ship?
one? Do you know the pull the other one?
What's the one?
My back, I'll scratch yours is where the agreement was that if the two people were both caught with, breaking the law in the Navy or whatever, if one of them got caught and he had to whip the other one, he'd only do it lightly. So in return, the other guy would do it lightly. So
right, fair enough. That's cool. Does anyone know the name? I know, I can't remember what the saying is now, but it's about the one being where they tie you and pull you round the bow of the ship by ropes. So they throw you over the edge and pull you from the other side under it. It will scratch all your back up with the urchins and stuff on the. I can't remember. There's a saying for it. But that's where it comes from. So that's kind of reversing it. I got reverse engineering the saying. I can't remember what the saying is, but I remember the meaning. or it's like,
If anyone can think of that, they should let us know.
Yeah, it's a weird one, and then you hear it and you go, "Oh, that makes sense." But like enough for him to swing a cat. I mean, in your head, you think about getting a cat. And, well, I do anyway.
I think Adam thinks about swinging your cat round. Doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, just that one.
Hey.
So yeah, pull the other one. Do you know that one? Pull the other one.
Is that when you're with your mate at a party and you get a little bit drunk and you stand next to... No, hang on, it's a family show. Carry on.
No, if someone says, "Oh, I'm only joking," pull the other one. It's where a hangman would allow the family to pull the leg to quicken the death. So if you got a family member dying and
that's nice.
To speed up the death, the hangman would pull one leg and the family member would pull the other leg.
Can't pull the other one.
Pull the other one, and then they would die quicker.
That's nice, I suppose. It is a nice thing.
Yeah.
So
on that tip,
anyone's going to finish me off, I'd want it to be my wife. Again, swiftly moving on.
It'd be Daisy Ridley, who are you kidding?
Yeah, I know. That's a Patreon part, that is. Yeah, man. We've just gone on a tangent here. Hello. I don't know what happened there. Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
So, talking of those sort of things, you guys are really on the Game of Thrones.
Sorry, one sec. Talking about Crazy Train, you did the Crazy Train quote there. Happy birthday, Rob.
Oh, happy birthday, Rob!
birthday,
It's
Rob.
Rob's birthday yesterday, and I'll just give him a shout out. He's the man. Happy birthday, mate. Right, swiftly moving on. He don't deserve that much time. Come on. So Game of Thrones.
Thrones. We've had how many episodes?
4.
4.
Over 100, I think, now, haven't we?
4 episodes of this current series, and so far,
Fifth
how's
one
it
tonight,
going?
isn't it?
Yeah. And how's it going so far?
It's now I'm hearing a lot of negativity about this series, but then again, you hear a lot of negativity about everything on the internet these days, and it's honestly becoming quite debilitating going on there and even looking at some nonsense. A lot of people's misgivings with this series is, it's too fast. There's not really building. There is no room to build anymore. There is 2 episodes left of this 7 seasons, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Arc of world building. They've spent time traveling across a continent to get to this point where we're in the end game. Pardon the pun, but we're at that point where there is no more room. We have 2 and a bit hours worth of storytelling left. Finish this off. That's it. There is no room for extra characters, or if you actually look at it now, there's not many characters left in this because a lot of them are dead or their story arcs are done. And we are, imagine this is a 2-hour movie. We're in the last 5 minutes. Yeah, that's where we're at now. And people are going, it's stupid. Yeah, but at the start of this series, we were 25 minutes from the end of the film. So, it's where it is, and it's not going to play out anymore. We have got people's story arcs. We might not get explanations for certain things, but I'm sure that'd be done contextually, or even with this prequel series that is coming out that might explain some of the world and the mythos. But I personally think this series has been one of the most intriguing because of the way it's gone. It's things have happened that have come from left field, and that to me is great storytelling because I don't want generic. I want different. And, the whole, I don't want to go into too many spoiler territories, but, beware if you haven't seen any of it. The last episode with the battle at Winterfell, right?
Yeah.
It was shattering. I mean, no major players died, but there ain't many major players left.
Enough did, though. There's been people who've been with us for a long time.
Yeah, people have been with us a long time, but people are expecting big character death. But even Tyrion, did you notice how many times they lingered and put him in a position where you thought, this is it, Tyrion's done for, and then it didn't happen? But that's good storytelling because make it akin to Endgame. Let's be honest, we all knew Tony Stark was going to die in that movie. We'd all called it for a long time. When it happened, their good storytelling was, I was surprised at the way it did happen and I liked it. But I wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe I just seen that.
There were people in the cinema when I watched it weeping.
Yeah, I had someone sobbing in the back of my one. But that's my point is their clever storytelling with Game of Thrones is like the White Walker threat with that battle. We haven't got to worry about that anymore. But does that surprise you? Because let's be honest, they are not the main antagonist of this series.
No,
the whole point of this series is the title, Game of Thrones. It's about who is going to end up on that. And a lot of the people moaning on the internet is, oh, well, that's done now. I don't really want to bother. Well, why was you watching it in the first place? Because it's not about them. They were a catalyst to pull all the different houses that were warring and that together to fight the bigger threat that suddenly realised, if we do this together, we can take down the Lannisters. And that's what it's all about. But then they've got their internal battle of, Aegon and, Daenerys and Sansa and all of these people. It's at that point now where they're allies, but they're not. They're all kind of going now.
They don't like each other, do they?
No. What do we actually do now? Because I don't even think Sansa's that keen on Jon lately, to be honest with you, with stuff going on. And, Daenerys has taken a turn. How are you feeling with her in the last few episodes? Because I used to like her, and now I think she's been a douche.
I think she's going to go the way of her father.
Yes, I've got that feeling too.
And I think that she'll end up the big bad. I reckon we might lose 30 next episode, and then you've got to deal with her and her dragon.
Well, this is See, I'm with you now because we're in the final 2 episodes. Yeah. Tonight will be the big one because the final episode will be wrapping up the finality of who's finally sitting on that throne. Because tonight's will be getting Cersei out of the way, whether it be by someone killing her killing herself, or, you know, her being eliminated out of the picture in some other way. It could even be Euron that does it and thinks, you know, he's been taking his time to go, you know what, I don't really like you. I'm just going to do this for the throne. But so I'm going to give you my theory now, and then I'm sure you can jump in, Jeremy, after I've rambled enough. But we're at that point. I think tonight's one, I think we're going to have Cersei be eliminated, and I think there's a high chance she'll kill herself. It'll be Jaime that does it, or it won't be Daenerys or Jon. I don't think that. I think that Jaime in the last episode, when he left Brienne, wasn't going to go back to Cersei. I think he was going back to kill Cersei.
Yeah.
I think it was I would do anything for my sister, even if that means killing her to get her away from the horrors that are going to befall her if somebody else gets there first.
Yeah.
And I think he suddenly realised how much of a douche he'd been over the last few years.
But he must know she's got a baby in her belly.
Yeah, but maybe he's not happy about that, mate, either. Look how he's changed. And to be honest with you, the thing that I'm hoping this is the case, because Jaime's arc over the last few years has seen him come from this Kingslayer scumbag that pushes kids out of windows to somebody that you actually root for on a episode by episode basis, and he's one of the most loved characters. And by doing that the last episode, if he's gone back to Cersei, it's ruined that whole arc. You know, Kim getting with Brienne, and finally that beautiful thing happening between them, because it was great to see that.
Oh, and that should have been Tormund. We know that.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have, because, let's be honest, he's a nutter. And I love him. I've got to say else about that, but we'll get there in a minute. But yeah, I think she's going to be eliminated next episode. And then it's going to be that internal struggle between Aegon, or whatever you want to call him, Jon. Yeah. Is it Aegon, isn't it? Is he now? Is he Aegon?
Well, Jon. He'll always be.
Yeah, but they call him that, don't they? But, you know, if he's Jon, if it's between her and Jon, because obviously she's not very happy about finding out that. And I think the final episode is going to be exactly what you said. I think it's going to be Daenerys losing the plot, sitting on that throne. And now this is getting into the bit that I've got this theory that I've seen floating about, and this is how I think it works in, right? So I've got this theory that all the dragons are dead apart from hers, right? Drogon, yeah?
Yeah.
She's going to be sitting on that throne going, "You can't touch me, Jon. Right? What are you going to do about it? I'm the queen bee now, right?" And Jon goes, "Yeah, but do you remember a couple of seasons ago when your dragons all disappeared for a long time?" What happens sometimes when birds emigrate and animals emigrate and then come back? What have they done?
Baby ones.
Baby ones. And I've got this feeling Jon's going to be like, "Yeah, but I know something you don't. Fly, my pretties," right? And then all of these dragons are going to come out of nowhere, and Jon's going to be like, "You're done for, mate."
I don't think Jon is. He's too noble for that. He'd have told her, like, when the dragons. Oh, by the way, they were fornicating while you didn't have them, and I have eggs because I am too noble to. He couldn't even just not tell people who he was. Just shut up, Jon.
But maybe that's what's going to happen in this episode. Is Bran's going to know about it, and Bran
needs to do something, because
but this is
Battle of Winterfell. He's like, "I'm going to go now. Oh, I'm going to be a crow."
Yeah, but the thing is, with Bran, there's got to be something with him, because otherwise it makes his existence in this whole thing pointless, because they haven't explained anything about him.
So far, the Three-Eyed Raven has been pointless.
Yeah, and that's my point. So there's got to be a reason why, because the reason he's got to be important is because the Night King specifically went to Winterfell for him, nothing else. He wasn't going there to kill everyone. He went straight for everyone and straight for Bran. So he wanted him for a reason. We need to know what that is, and that's one arc that needs to be tied up, right? The dragon thing, I don't think it happened obviously as camp as that in the show, but I think that there's going to be something there that Jon will have those dragons turn up, and because he is essentially the rightful heir and the firstborn of that bloodline that there is now, I think, or is he? He's not, is he? He's the rightful heir because she's a cousin, isn't she, or something like that? It's just the way the bloodline lies. But I think the dragons are going to naturally gravitate to him, because he is Dragon Ball. And I think that's how that's going to end. And he's not going to want to do it because he does love her. But I think she's going to literally flip that switch and go...
She's going to force his hand.
Yeah.
Her face, when, at the end of the last episode, was she'd lost the plot by then.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when Missandei got killed. Because, I mean, Grey Worm's done for now. I think he'll just... I wouldn't be surprised even if Grey Worm was the one that killed Cersei, to be honest with you. And he just goes on a rampage.
Grey Worm and the Mountain are going to...
I think Jamie will do that.
What, you think Jamie will kill Cersei? Well, that's the highest possibility on there. The list is, I mean, there is odds for it, and I think it was Jamie's the highest, then it's Arya, then it's Sansa, and then it's Daenerys, which I kind of get, to be honest with you, because
let's
be honest.
Vakari, do you think she'll use that?
What's his name?
Dracarys.
What about Bronn?
Bronn, I was really annoyed about that. Because I love Bronn and I love the relationship he built up with Tyrion and Jamie. And then he walks in that room and he wasn't even...
Sellsword again, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it was the arrogance of it. Bronn's always been a bit of a laugh, even when he's in those situations. Yeah, even when he's in killing mode, he's a bit of a laugh. And he could talk to Tyrion and he'd be like, look, mate, do you know what I mean? He's paid me more, blah, blah, blah. But he didn't. He come in with some real bravado. And it was like, I don't actually care, and I'm going to kill you unless you do this. And that really wound me up a bit because of the way he did it. He could have been a bit more jovial, I think, with Tyrion, and they could have used
been a bit more Bronn.
Yeah, a bit more Bronn, and he wasn't very Bronn in that scene, and it kind of wound me up. But then I think maybe they did it because I think some people might have not really got the point of what was happening with him, that he was a sellsword at that point.
Yeah.
That when he walked in that room, I kind of even went, oh, Bronn's here, and then Stacey was like, yeah, he's there to kill him, and I was like, oh yeah, so I think maybe doing it in that way was to just sort of.
But I think that's got connotations to the future. That story's not done.
No,
he's got a role to play at some point.
I know, and I'm annoyed because I was really hoping that it was just going to end. Everything was like done for, and the last episode was Bronn just sitting in his castle, well happy.
Yeah,
that is all I wanted to see, with his wife going, yeah, this is nice, but it's not, because now I don't really like him anymore. Because
I think he's going to die.
Yeah, I think Bronn could. Right, okay, so we've got that. Let's get the Game of Thrones out of the way. Why Adam's scratching his chin in a very right, so that's how I think it's going to play out. You think it's going to end with Daenerys going mad, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, okay. What about the Mountain versus the Hound?
Well, the Hound was beaten by Brienne of Tarth, wasn't he? He's not as good as he used to be, and he lost the plot during the battle as well. He hid.
There's PTSD, isn't it? That he's got there from the fire.
But can you kill the Mountain now? It's like a zombie mountain.
Yes, I think you can if you use fire.
So you need a dragon.
I know. I think this is how I see that fight going down. He's been training that for his whole life, and he may have lost to Brienne, but he hasn't got a vendetta this deep rooted with Brienne. You know what?
No,
adrenaline and stuff does. Yeah, it will heighten his battle ability, as it were, to go in there and really kick some butt. It's his brother. His brother burnt him. He's held on to this hate for years. He's causing this PTSD. I think he's going to cut him up a few times, and he's still going to be coming at him, right? And then he's going to realise, I've got to burn the bugger. And see, I was talking about Game of Thrones, and I just start swearing, right? I just start swearing.
It's hard now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and
because that, yeah.
I think that's going to be having to him overcome his PTSD and his problems by literally probably throwing his own brother into the fire with himself. And I think the Hound is going to go down. He's going to win, but he's going to die from his wounds slightly afterwards.
I think that he will lose, but Arya will save the day. He's wounded and in pain, and she'll finish him off because she didn't before.
The Hound, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that one as well. That would work as well, because this is what I like about Arya now, is that she's brutal, she's unforgiving, but she's still got emotion.
I think she's got to do one of her extra faces again as well. She's going to take her face off again at some point.
Oh man, how do you feel for Gendry though? I was well gutted for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, bless it. Like that was all that courage. He runs up to her. I love you. Be with me. No.
Yeah, but if you look, she told Ned that earlier on, and she said that's not for me. He
Yeah.
said you'll marry a lord, live in a castle. She was like, no, I don't want to do that.
But I think that's how that'll end. Gendry doesn't want to be a lord and live in a castle. I think Gendry at the end of that, I think they will be, and I think he'll just go, nah, this ain't. I just want to be happy, And who knows how it's going to end, apart from the rioters, Benioff and Weiss. But
Yeah.
we're there now. There's, I can't. The other arcs. I'm just trying to think of anyone else. Sansa. I mean, her and Daenerys are probably going to have something happen in the next couple of episodes because they just don't get on.
No.
Yeah, that's quite fun. I mean, everyone else I really care about is gone now. Is Davos Seaworth still with us?
For Davos? No, he's gone, isn't he?
Is Davos gone? I know Jorah went in the last episode, which was a gutter because he's one of my favourites. However, I loved the way that his arc. He died protecting Daenerys.
Exactly how you want to.
Sorry, mate, you're breaking up.
That's exactly the way he wanted to go, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A perfect end to the story. I mean, he died a happy man.
Yeah, he died protecting Khaleesi, Daenerys, which was his motivation for all of this, was his love for her, and it was deeper than any relationship. It was complete commitment, and he just devoted everything to her, and by sacrificing himself, like you say, no other way would that man have wanted to die. So I was happy with the arc of the way it wrapped up. Just a bit gutted that he died because he was one of my favourite characters. He
was brilliant. I mean, know, the arcs that have ended, I think Tormund's done, Brienne's done.
Yeah.
Melisandre's
dead as well.
Yeah, unfortunately.
She was my favourite female character in this for reasons. But there was I saw somebody earlier and they'd posted a thing about the four potential spin-offs they'd like to see of Game of Thrones. And 3 of them were semi-serious and I liked it. Number 4 was a joke, but it's actually the one I want to see most of all. Right. It was an animated series with Tormund and Ghost.
Yeah.
Up north of the wall doing Scooby-Doo style mysteries. That just it'd be the best thing ever. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about on next week's episode. Because tonight's one is going to be a big one.
It's going to be a shocker. Tonight's going to be a
big one. It's always, I mean, they always do it with every series, Game of Thrones. The big one is the penultimate episode because the next one sets up the next series. I get that, and there isn't another series, but this one is winding down 7 seasons worth in one episode.
Yeah.
So tonight's is I think it's going to end on the biggest cliffhanger in TV history. I think that'll be the point where someone sits on that throne, and we're going to have to wait until next week to see the outcome of that. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. Anything to add after I've rambled for 20 odd minutes about Game of Thrones?
I've been agreeing with most of it, so no.
Yeah, that's cool.
Look, what about Adam?
He's one of them, and I don't watch Game of Thrones. Like, yeah.
I do. No, I'm gonna plug my Now TV box in when episode 7 drops. So I'll have a week before the last episode.
Right. Okay.
And I'll watch.
No. There's only 6 episodes this year, mate. We're on the penultimate one tonight.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'll plug it in and pay for my Now TV very soon. I'll watch all the episodes leading up to it and catch up that way. Now, what we're gonna. Do you remember when we were talking, you and I, Andy, after Endgame, and we were talking about, our thoughts and our sort of review on it, and I said something about Captain America. And Peggy Carter. Well, the 2 writers, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, have actually now confirmed that very thing. Where he goes back. If I go back to it, Peggy had 2 children, and the writers have now confirmed that actually, it was the current MCU timeline of Captain America that went back and married Peggy, as we know, and had children with her. So, Yeah, so in Captain America the Winter Soldier, it was revealed that Captain America's love, Peggy Carter, was married and had 2 kids, according to Avengers Endgame writers Christopher Marcus and Steve McFeely. And the man she married was the Captain America from the main MCU timeline who went back in time at the end of the film. And they went on to sort of say that they haven't decided yet whether, with Marvel's future plans, especially with the time travel now in play, whether they're going to make anything else of it, of the 2 children, perhaps. But it's possible that, later on they might do something with those kids in a feature film. Yes, Andy.
See, I raised my hand there because I'm confused. It was a quizzical raising of my hand. It doesn't make any sense. They've gone back on their own, like, sci-fi timey-wimey stuff, haven't they? Because they said in Endgame that it doesn't matter if you go back and change something because it won't affect it because it's a different timeline. They said that if you went back and did something, your future would continue out in the same way. So I'm agreeing that I'm not saying you're wrong, Adam. I'm just saying that they seem to have gone back on their own thing there because they said in Endgame that they could go back, take that stuff, but as long as it was put back, it was all right. The stones and that, right? But they said if they went back and changed anything, it would be in a different thing and nothing would change in the future. But he went back and had kids and got married. But
he'd be 123 years old or something or other, and there would be like 60 or something. Anyway, let's not get into all that stuff because it's all timey-wimey stuff.
My brain hurts.
Let's just have a little look at
Can I point
the
out
fantastic Detective Pikachu has been.
I did predict that Captain America would end up with Peggy.
You did, yeah. We went through that in a couple of weeks ago when you wasn't here, mate. Carry on, Adam. Look, he turns back up and he starts like ruining the roast. Got all these things. We've been over it, mate. If you don't even listen to the podcast, which we know you haven't done, all right?
No, I have.
You haven't listened to the last one, have you?
Not all of it.
Oh, well done. It's only an hour.
Yeah. I know it's an abbreviated one now, isn't it?
So are you guys
very professional apparently as well.
Are you guys going to go and check out Detective Pikachu for a bit of fun?
Yeah.
When it's on Movies for Juniors. I'm not spending 20 odd quid on taking my daughter to see Pikachu because I want to.
It's doing incredibly well. It's earned an estimated 58 million its first weekend, earning the #1 spot on the top 10 video game movie opening weekends of all time, beating 2001's Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Well,
that's not really an accolade to be proud of, is it? We did a better weekend than Tomb Raiders. Brilliant.
There we go.
But a lot of that is Ryan Reynolds, though. People watch Ryan Reynolds do anything, wouldn't you?
It is that, but I also think what I've heard review-wise of it, of full-grown adults as well. Like, I think is it Casey DeFreitas on IGN? I think it's her. She's a massive Pokemon fan and Pikachu fan especially. And she was obviously at the premiere and came out saying she really enjoyed it. And everyone went, yeah, is that just because you like Pikachu? She went, no, it's because I'm one of the most overly critical people of that character because I'm such a fan. She said, I went in there hoping that it was going to be great. And I come out thinking this was amazing, which is a high praise because I get that. You know, we all do it. We all go into a film like Star Wars and go, oh, that's amazing. We might think about it later and go, well, I didn't like that. But I think, honestly, us three especially, that I know, that if we watched it and didn't like it, we'd say we didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen films before, like the Marvel films. Captain Winter Soldier ain't for me. Does nothing for me, that film. And I think with that, having someone that is so into that character come out and go, yeah, they enjoyed it, says a lot. So they must be doing something right with that film. And the second one's already in production, isn't it? So
it is, yeah, exactly. Avatar sequels have also been put back, the release dates, probably because of Star Wars. And you got some news on that too, Andy.
They ran out of blue paint, didn't they?
They did, I think. Yeah. These new Star Wars movies, obviously.
You want me to read that out, didn't you? Hang on.
Yes, please.
I'm really tired, mate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, do you really think? I mean, we've gone through this before. But do you really think we need Avatar sequels?
Yes. There's nothing wrong with them, mate.
Good.
Yeah. The reason why it's #1 movie in the world is because a lot of people watched it and enjoyed it. Just because it's 11 years too late doesn't mean it's going to be bad.
Jeremy, you shook your head then. So
I just don't think we need it. I mean, obviously I'm going to go and watch it and I'm probably going to love it. but I'm not hyped at all. I imagine a trailer will drop and I'll be,
Blown
wetting
away.
my pants with excitement. But
Look,
at the moment, it's not doing anything for me.
well, yeah, it's not doing anything because we have nothing. That's why we
Yeah.
have nothing. All we have is 11 years worth of new Avatar films are coming, and it gets boring. And I think that just starts to grate on you a little bit. But what I'm looking at is we didn't need all of them to be confirmed. And I think that's what's making them look a bit silly as well, as a bit of a joke of, you're a bit big for your boots. You 11 years ago, you had the biggest grossing film of all time. Oh, what, you think you can make 4 more films? That's kind of what it feels like. But like you, when they make it, I mean, I loved Avatar. I'm one of them that I really enjoy that film. Yes, it's got its faults. Yes, it's not original. But I'll tell you what will be Avatar 2, because he's written the groundwork for it now. It's almost like that was a tester. That was a demo. And this is Pandora. These are the aliens. This is the world. Now I've got 4 films to go crazy with. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm like, yeah, I'm down with that, because it's a big franchise. There's no denying that. And people go, yeah, but it hasn't grew up the popular mainstream. We don't have people, buying figures and that. No, not yet. But we might do in 4 or 5 years' time when these are out. And there's people that were kids when the first one came out. They're now adults, and they're going to be taking their kids to see it. This could. I'm not saying it is going to be the next Star Wars. It's not going to be the next MCU, but it could be up there in some of the biggest films of all time, because it's James Cameron. He's got that following, and who knows? We'll see when it comes. But what news did you want me to read out, Adam? Was it these?
Well, in order for these films to go back, obviously the Star Wars movies are
right. So basically,
for them.
Disney released a schedule for their movies up until 2027 that they have in production, right? And I'm going to quickly go through this. So we start with 2019, and I'm not going to do dates, but this is 2019's. We've got Tolkien, Aladdin, Dark Phoenix, Toy Story 4, Stubber, The Lion King, Art of Racing in the Rain, Ready or Not, Ad Astra, Woman in the Window, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, Ford versus Ferrari, Frozen 2, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and Spies in Disguise. Right? So there's obviously some ones in there that we haven't got a clue what they are. There'll just be, there'll be films that are distributed by Disney that probably have nothing to do with Disney-esque films there. But then we go to 2020, right? Okay, so we've got Underwater, Untitled Kingsman movie, Call of the Wild, Onward, Mulan, The New Mutants, Untitled Marvel, Artemis Fowl, which I can't wait for, Untitled Pixar Animation, Free Guy, Bob's Burgers, Jungle Cruise, Dwayne Johnson, can't wait for that, The One and Only Ivan, Death on the Nile, Untitled Marvel. So we've got 3 Marvel films next year coming out, 2020, next year, that we don't know what they are. Ron's Gone Wild, Untitled Disney Animation, West Side Story, which is the one being developed by Steven Spielberg, yeah. And then we've got next year is the first year in a long time with no Star Wars, no big films. They are releasing Cruella, which is Emma Stone, I believe, playing Cruella, which I'll give that a bit of time because I like her and I think, Disney's Disney. So 2021. And this is the one where I wonder what era I live in. So 2021, Disney Untitled Marvel, sorry. Nimona. Then we've got Untitled Disney Live Action, Untitled Marvel, Untitled Disney Live Action, Untitled Pixar Animation, Untitled Indiana Jones, Untitled Disney Live Action, Untitled Disney Live Action, Untitled Marvel, Untitled Disney Animation, and Avatar 2. All right. So hang on, we've got that year. We've got 1, 2, 3 Marvel films, an Avatar film, and an Indiana Jones film, as well as some live action Disney films. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of them, and then an animated one. I think 2021 could be a good year for Disney, right? And they've got to get Indiana Jones out by then because I don't think he's got many years left in him. 2022. So I'm not going to do the Untitled bit because it's getting boring. But Marvel, Pixar, Marvel, Disney live action, Pixar, Disney live action, Marvel, Disney live action, Disney live action, Disney animation, and then Star Wars. Right. Then 2023 we've got a Disney live action Avatar 3. Then 24 we've got Star Wars. 25 we've got Avatar 4. 26 we've got Star Wars, and then 2027 we've got Avatar 5. So the mad thing about this is we're still podcasting in 2027. We can go retro on Force Awakens, I think. Can't we? Like, it's getting ridiculous, man. I mean, this is the next, 10 years worth of films. Yeah, 8 years and 10 years worth of films. Sorry, bad podcast etiquette. They're moving away from Mike. 10 years worth of films, and they're not small films, man. And obviously, there's room for manoeuvre here as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see. I don't think we'll see Avatar move again. I think if it does, it'll become a joke. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of these films start to move about, especially the Marvel ones, because they don't know what they're doing just yet. This is like phase 1 all over again, isn't it? They're going and going, right, where are we going with this? Obviously, some of them we do know because it's Shang-Chi, isn't it? Then we've got Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We've got the Black Widow.
Black Widow, Captain Marvel, we've got Doctor Strange.
Exactly. So we know what some of these are, but obviously they're saying untitled because they don't know where they're putting what. But yeah, I mean, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Marvel films. We're so lucky. I mean, how lucky are we to have this?
Let's see this week how lucky Jeremy is answering his questions in this week's quiz. Roll the music.
Oh man, I've got to do another time code now.
This week, Jeremy has to beat a total of 9.5 out of 13.
Oh, Jeremy. 9.5 out of 13. The heat is on.
Okay. Jeremy, are you ready?
Kenny Loggins.
Heat is on.
Okay. Andy, no.
Who shared that in the group earlier? Was that you, Adam? The Danger Zone video. The Danger Zone music to Star Wars. That's brilliant.
Okay. Jeremy, your first question.
I'm going to do this like basketball. I'm going to try and psych him out every time he gets a question.
Got to keep quiet here, please.
I can't keep quiet.
Serious quiz.
Serious.
Oh, Dad's spoken now.
Oh, serious.
Question 1. Can you name the child actor who played the lead role in Flight of the Navigator?
No.
It was Joey Kramer. Your second question. What does KIT stand for?
Oh, Not Incorporated 2000.
Pardon?
Not Incorporated 2000?
It's incorrect. It's Night Industries 2000.
I changed it. I just said Night Industries.
Adam, give him half a point. He needs him.
Oh, just give me a whole point.
First answers, please, Jeremy.
Who created the title theme for the movie Beverly Hills Cop?
Clef.
Who created the title theme for the movie Beverly Hills Cop?
That Clef, wasn't it?
That's the name of the song.
Oh no, that's the name. Oh, the name of the track, wasn't it?
Is the wrong answer.
Harold Faltermeyer.
It was Crazy Frog, wasn't it?
Okay. Can you name the actor who plays Mike in The Young Ones?
Christopher Ryan.
Is the correct answer.
Chris Ryan, isn't he that SAS bloke? Right?
Quiet, please.
Oh, see, you're a bad influence. We had a lovely chat last week, and he was fine, no attitude. You come back, and he starts. You bring out the worst in me.
Can you name the film that links the music Born Slippy?
I don't know what Born Slippy even is.
Links it to what?
Can you name the film that links the music Born Slippy?
It doesn't even make any sense, does it?
Well, I know what he means, but what film uses it? What film would
What
you think?
film incorporates the music Born Slippy?
It doesn't. I haven't got a clue. What
Dodge boy, doing on the edge of boy, in a doorway, boy. She wasn't. Yeah, there you go.
Am I going to give that to him or not?
Oh, the listeners had to hear me sing that, so yeah, give him a point.
Okay, here's a question for you. Ready? Can you name the guitarist who played on the hit single by Sonny and Cher, I Got You, Babe? And he did the theme tune to the 1979 movie Captain America.
Joe Satriani.
It's not your question. Sure. I'm going to ban you from this.
Kenny
Andy,
Loggins.
shh, quiet.
Right.
Shall we repeat the question? Can you name the guitarist
No, you can't.
who played on the hit?
That.
Andy, will you be quiet? Can you name the guitarist who played on the hit single by Sonny and Cher, I Got You, Babe? And he did the theme tune to the 1979 movie Captain America.
Buckethead.
Jeff Beck.
He just swore. Now I've got to edit that out.
Mike Post.
All right.
You know who that is?
Did music of the 80s.
Yes, right. Okay. Your next question.
I should get a bonus for that.
Can you name the company and the year Betamax was introduced?
No.
No? It was Sony. No. It was released in Japan on May 10th, 1975. Believe me, Andy did have a techie question as well. In the 1980s, who made the games Crossfire and Rebound?
Oh. I don't know. I can see the advert, but I couldn't tell you.
Williams Electronics?
No, they're board games.
Board game. Oh, yeah, no, Crossfire. I think there's a copy of my mum's. Peter Pan's Playthings?
It was Ideal.
Ideal.
Okay. Now, to get a full point, you've got to get three or more of the actresses. So the question is, can you name 3 or more of the 6 actresses who played the role of Catwoman?
Halle Berry, Eartha Kitt, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
I'll give you those. You could also have got Julie Newmar. You could have got Lee Merriweather and Anne Hathaway. So that's a correct.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway, yeah.
Okay. What actor links the following TV shows? Charlie's Angels, Chips, V, Manimal, and Knight Rider. What actor links the following TV shows? Charlie's Angels, Chips, V, Manimal, and Knight Rider.
The old man. I couldn't tell you what his name was.
Robert Englund.
Really?
Well, he's in V, he was in Manimal, he was in Knight Rider, he was in Charlie's Angels, and he was in Chips. Okay.
What, as in a one-off episode?
He was in them, yeah. Can you name the band who did the music score and soundtrack to Iron Man 2?
AC/DC.
Is correct. Question 12. Can you name 2 actors who have played Lando Calrissian?
Billy D. Williams and that younger fella who's just done it in Solo. I'm stalling to remember what his name is. Childish Gambino, Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, correct. This is your very last question. Okay. What actor plays Kevin Flynn in the original Tron?
Kevin Flynn. Now, is he the one in it? It's either going to be Bruce Boxleitner or it's going to be Jeff Bridges. I'm going to go Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges is correct. Unfortunately, you didn't read Andy. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wrong, and you got a half a point. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 7.5. 7.5 out of 13.
Who did the music to Act Left? You didn't tell me. So I got that one right then.
You got that one right.
Oh, that's all right then.
As you didn't fail that one. There we are. Well, shall I give you some of Andy's questions from last week?
Go on then. Go on. I'll have a go on these.
Have a go on some of his. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So his first question was, can you name the child actor who played the lead role of Elliot in E.T.?
No.
It was Henry Thomas. Who created the title theme for the... Oh, sorry, here we are. Name the composer for the film scores Inception and Batman, The Dark Knight.
I don't know.
That was Hans Zimmer. Name the actor who played Roy in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Roy, I'm going to guess that it was Hooper from Jaws. Richard Dreyfuss.
Correct, yeah. Who had a hit with Video Killed the Radio Star?
Buggles.
What country originated the standard and associated 21-pin connector for connecting audio-visual AV equipment, otherwise known as SCART?
Probably Japan.
It was France. And what was the date set for the future in the DeLorean in Back to the Future?
1985. Oh no, that's the when you go back, wasn't it? 1955, 11th October, something like that.
It was October 21st, 2015.
Eh? I thought in Back to the
That was the
Future went backwards.
What was the date set for the future in
Oh.
DeLorean in Back to the Future?
Oh, I misheard. Sorry. I wouldn't have got it right.
Can you name the two characters who sit in the balcony in The Muppet Show?
Yeah. Usually I can, because I call people them.
Statler and Waldorf.
That's it, yeah.
Who lived at 15 Credibility Street?
15 Credibility Street. A cartoon character.
The young
Danger
ones.
Mouse.
The young ones.
Young one.
Name the actor who played Angel in Buffy.
David Boreanaz.
Which two actresses have been married to Ryan Reynolds?
A couple of really lucky ones.
They were indeed. Scarlett Johansson, Blake.
Johansson and
Yeah. Can you name the actor who played Sam Flynn in Tron Legacy?
Was that not Jeff Bridges again?
Garrett Hedlund. And what is the possibility of navigating an asteroid field, according to C-3PO? The possibility of navigating an asteroid field is...
Well, I don't like him to tell me the odds. That's the problem.
It was 3,720 to 1. And this was the question that got him. In the speeder bike chase in Return of the Jedi, how many speeder bikes are there, not including the speeder that Luke and Leia are on?
4.
Yes, well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean I win?
No.
By default.
So, mate, you were on holiday. You had a nice time away. You were catching up on some Game of Thrones episodes while you was out there. Were you desperately trying to find a way of watching them whilst you're there? And what else have you been watching this week, in the last few weeks, that have been fascinating you and interesting you? I know Lucifer has definitely been...
Lucifer has been fantastic. I'm loving Lucifer. Lucifer just one of the great TV shows. Brilliant, and I'm enjoying that. I've caught up on some movies. I watched Shazam, which was really good fun.
It's great, isn't it?
I watched Holmes and Watson. Now, that's one of the ones that got really, really bad reviews, and I don't like to listen to the reviews. I think I'll make my own mind up. I really wish I'd listened to the reviews because it was awful. I watched Mortal Engines.
Yes.
Which looked quite pretty, but didn't grip me particularly. And I watched Overlord.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Well, it looked like someone had got one of my rubbish movies that I like. Because, Tackle the Mushroom People-esque movie, chucked a load of money at it, but it didn't seem to make it any better. It was okay.
Right.
I didn't hate it, but it wasn't what with Endgame. Endgame was a 3-hour-long movie that felt like 10 minutes, and you couldn't take your eyes off it. I found with Overlord, I was kind of thinking, is it going to do anything yet? It wasn't it didn't grip me as much as I was hoping. I was really looking forward to it.
Well, I bought it. I absolutely love it. It's a J.J. Abrams
Well,
bad
that's what I
production, and I really loved it. Really, really loved it. Mortal Engines is a film that I think people should watch because it's Peter Jackson production, and I think it does a good job of interpreting the book. I think it's one of those films
It's not a horrible movie. It's not a horrible movie.
It's not.
But it's not one I would watch again. It's not
And
one that.
Yeah, I mean, it's done the same kind of thing as Valerian, where it sort of passed a lot of people by. Critics didn't like it very much, and then through the medium of watching it digitally or on Blu-ray or whatever, people have discovered it and thought, actually, this is really not as bad as people made out.
It's not a patch on Valerian, though, because Valerian is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's also on your radar for this week? I suppose you're really still looking forward to seeing Godzilla, aren't you?
I'm really looking forward to Godzilla. The buzz around it is quite good so far, so I'm looking forward to that. Game of Thrones, obviously.
John Wick fan? Are you a John Wick fan at all?
Yeah, it's out this week.
Yeah. So the trailer for the third film has come out, and I think it's getting again some really good feedback.
I think John Wick is one of these ones that kind of coming under the radar, and no one really watched it until it got such good word of mouth. And John Wick is one of the best Keanu Reeves movies ever. It's absolutely brilliant. I love John Wick.
Isn't it? Yeah, it is indeed. So Lucifer now on Netflix after being axed by the channel that was showing it in the States. It was showing on Amazon Prime, where you can watch series 1 to 3, and now series 4 is now on Netflix. Now, I'm 4 episodes in. I'm taking my time with it because I know what I'm like with these things. I just want to binge it and I want to watch it all, and then it's done. And I'm taking my time because I absolutely love Lucifer. It's just Tom Ellis is absolutely brilliant. Such a great cast. In some ways, it reminds me of Fringe because the cast is quite small, and you've grown to love the the girl who does all the the crime scene.
Yeah.
And Dan and obviously Detective and I love the demon as well. She's fabulous. And
more than fabulous.
She's fabulous, isn't she? And of course the psychotherapist, the counselor.
Yep.
She's wonderful. And I mean, it's hard to not talk about it just yet because we don't want to give anything away.
No, we can't ruin it. We can't really talk about it without ruining anything.
But the cast is just awesome, and this is why it got such a lot of fans to get it reinstated back onto our screens, and it is on Netflix, and it's definitely something that if you haven't seen it, you really should. It should check it out. It's written by Neil Gaiman, isn't it? Originally,
yeah,
based on DC characters, and it's definitely worth checking out. I've currently in the. I'm going to try and watch. If I get a chance tonight, I might watch it. I'm going to rewatch Blade, which I haven't seen for a while. And what are your memories on Blade, Wesley Snipes?
I've actually recorded it a few weeks ago. I'm looking forward to. I might sit down with Freddie and watch it because I really enjoyed Blade. I even like the third one. Everyone else hated the third one.
Trilogy's good. Second one's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want to watch the first one again. I think it's time for a rewatch. Andy, you're on the film Blade, Wesley Snipes.
It's good, isn't it? I watched it recently. It's a good film. I don't like the third one.
Would you say we both like the third one?
Oh no, I was here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the third one. The first one's good. Not aged very well.
Andy, what have you been watching this week? Apart from Game of Thrones, anything else you've been catching up on, checking out?
I watched Shrek 2. I watched first episode of Bodyguard, which I really enjoyed. and Zookeeper, starring Kevin James.
Is that any good?
I went in expecting it to be a big pile of pants, and I was pleasantly surprised. To be honest with you, mate, it's stupid family fun. My daughter wanted to watch it because he ran into a pole in the trailer and fell over, and there was some animals being stupid, so she wanted to watch it. And it was all the usual tropes. Soon as Rosario Dawson, it's all about a zookeeper that's having trouble finding love, and he's after this girl who's beautiful and totally not right for him, and he's pining over her because she, at the start of the film, she declines his marriage proposal because he's a zookeeper and all of this, right? But yet the perfect girl in Rosario Dawson works at the zoo with him, and as soon as she walked on the screen, I went, well, there's the story arc. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew exactly where it was going. The animals are going to help him find love with this woman, and then he's not going to realise it's right there. He's going to go back to his other one, and then he's going to realise what he's missing out on the moment she's going to leave somewhere, and it happened exactly like that. She goes to leave the zoo and move to Africa just as the moment he realises that, he's in love with her. It's so by the numbers. However, it's just Dr. Dolittle with Kevin James, and it's just nice. Do you know what I mean? And really good cameo by Joe Rogan in it, as his love interest rival, like his ex-fiance, not fiance, but his ex's new boyfriend, and Joe Rogan plays a complete D-bag in it. And it's just a quaint little film. Kids will like it. Shannon Lana will probably love it because the animals are funny. The cast in it is stupidly good. Let me just read this out for you. I'm just going to bring it up because the cast in this was one of the things that I thought, this is a Kevin James film. It's going to be, and the animals were really good in it. So my phone's now stalling. All right, but it's even on that as well, last page. So it's got Kevin James and Rosario Dawson in it, and Leslie Bibb, Ken Jeong, Donnie Wahlberg, Joe Rogan. Then we've got, as the animal voices, we have got, let me get to him here. Right down the end of the list for some reason. So we've got Nick Nolte, Adam Sandler, Sylvester Stallone, Cher, Judd Apatow, Jon Favreau, Maya Rudolph, and Don Rickles.
Not bad, is it?
No, mate. It is what it is. Like I said, it's so by the numbers. It's an average film. It's 5.2 out of 10 on IMDb. I think that says it all, really. But it's just nice. There was nothing offensive about it. And I say we watched it. My daughter wanted to watch it. I put it on. My wife went out to do some bits. The next thing I hear, my daughter's on her tablet upstairs in bed, and I'm sitting there watching Zookeeper on my own for the next hour. And, I finished it. It was good.
We watched Welcome to the Jungle as well. It's on Netflix. Yeah.
That's a good film. I like that.
Yeah, me and Freddie sat there and watched it.
Anything with a rock, mate? I'm just trying to think. There's something else I watched. I just can't think of what it was. Couldn't have been that great. Some True in the Magic Kingdom, because that's pretty cool on Netflix.
Who?
True and the Rainbow Kingdom. Sorry, it's a cartoon, Netflix cartoon. It's all right. Season 3's just started, so me and my daughter cracked into that.
Anything else to add to this week's podcast?
Have you seen the trailer for the Watchmen TV show?
Ah, good point. Absolutely have. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Andy? Because it's a confusing one, isn't it?
Well, it's not a Watchmen. They're just using the name and basing something in that universe. And to be honest with you, it didn't really do much for me. But then I'll determine that when it comes. They haven't shown us anything. They haven't shown us Dr. Manhattan or Rorschach or any of the characters we want to see in this, and they're holding back for that for a reason. When we finally get to see some of it, then I'll make an opinion on it. But right now, it was just a generic dark trailer that looked a bit weird.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it looked a bit weird. I didn't, as someone who's read before Watchmen as well as Watchmen, and obviously seen the Zack Snyder film, I was excited when this trailer dropped, and it left me with a sort of, oh, okay, not quite sure what to make of that. It didn't give anything away, and didn't show us anything, as Andy said. So for me, until it drops and we get to see the actual TV show, then we'll make a decision then.
The thing about that trailer, it didn't really make you want to watch it.
No, not really.
Oh, there,
It
that's that.
certainly looked good.
Didn't go,
It
"Oh, I
looked
must
good,
watch that."
but it didn't have much content. So, we're another week nearer our anniversary 1 year show, and we're still waiting for some more people to drop us some lines of comments and views of the podcast and some congratulations. So if you haven't done so, please go
I was
to
last weekend and they don't care. Just ignore them.
get a contact at retroincpodcast.co.uk. You can also send Andy a DM, PM, or whatever you want to call it, via the Facebook group, and give us some bits and pieces there.
I think you need to explain what it is because clearly they've all sent it by carrier pigeon because nothing's turned up yet.
But we're gonna have a fantastic show next week, and we'd love you to join us then. As usual, you have been listening to a Retro Inc. podcast production, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. And don't forget, you can check out more from the Commonwealth at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. On that basis, we have a lot of places you can find us, reach us. We have our Twitter account, our Instagram, our Retro Inc. Facebook page, and our community on the Facebook group page.
And the public toilets near Adam's gym where he frequents.
There is that. Retro Inc. YouTube channel as well. Alternatively, you can find us and many other podcasts at the StarWarsCommonwealth.com. Podcasts such as Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, The Nerdron, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron, San Diego Sabres Radio Podcast, and the Sandcrawler Podcast, and of course ourselves, Retro Inc. Jeremy, it's great to have you back on this week's show after a short leave of absence. And Andy,
last week, only you wouldn't have been able to hear me.
Looking forward to hearing what motor you pick up. Your new
picking one up, a bit heavy.
New jam jar.
I'll pick one up for you.
Yeah, I know you could. Like that scene in Endgame where Hulk's trying to smash, but he can't.
So thanks very much for listening to this week's show, and we'll catch you next time on the Retro Inc. podcast. Ciao,
They
fellas.
better turn up for the next one because it's the birthday one.
Yeah, we'll
If they don't bother turning up for that, well, they don't bother coming back for next year.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2. Well, that's how we're doing this. It is season 2 of the Retro Inc. podcast, and you just wait because those title credits might change as well. Oh, was that it? Wasn't it? Sorry, we're gone now.
Well, I haven't said goodbye yet.
Yeah, well, I've had free reign the last couple of weeks about you.
I know, I have heard.
No, you haven't. You haven't had the last one because you haven't bothered.
Well,
It's weird because it's almost like what you've done is like someone on Game of Thrones, like not watching the episode before the one they're about to star in. They've just gone into it and gone, oh, you know what? I'm just going to act this and just I don't know what the story is now. You know, what about if we had some sort of cohesive story going through the, you know, this is the end of season 1. We could have had the big finale last week and you weren't here for it, but you don't know because you didn't listen.
Oh, I've listened to half of it.
Oh, that's great.
It didn't come out till yet.
You're one of those people. I've read War and Peace. Well, I've read half of it. Well, you haven't read it then, have you?
No, I've not read it. It looks boring.
You know what, Jess? You know I love you here.
Yeah. Oh, Frozen.
Frozen?
Yeah. Oh, what?
Don't you think that's a really overrated Disney film?
I can't watch it. Because when Alana was little, when that first came out, my dad was in the hospice.
Yeah.
And she loved it. So she bought him in the DVD to watch. And that was the last movie he ever watched. I can't watch it.
Right, okay.
If as soon as I hear Let It Go, I'm like, oh.
Right, okay, fair enough.
Almost tearful.
Make me feel bad for about to make jokes about the Frozen film, and now I feel bad.
Jokes about it.
Yeah, I can't watch Frozen because Elsa does things to me, man. I don't know what it is. She's drawn. I shouldn't feel like that about an animated character, but jeez.
No, it's fine. Have you never seen Fire and Ice?
Yes, I have seen Fire and Ice. That's different. That's aimed at adults. I mean, this is a kids' film, but Elsa's beautiful. She is beautiful.
I prefer Brave. I like Merida and Brave.
Merida's cool. You know, Elsa's actually of legal age, but we won't go into that right now.
She's also just drawn, so it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. Oh, okay then. Right. I know some forums for you that you might want to go on later. Before we go down some really bad territory, let's say goodbye properly, because this is probably all being left in.
Goodbye properly.
Goodbye properly.
You can say goodbye, Adam.
I've done my goodbye.
I'm going to cut him out anyway, so don't worry about it. Every goodbye I'm just going to cut out of Adam, so it just sounds rude.
Is he gone?
I don't know. He's doing something.
I've done my goodbye. I've already said goodbye.
I'm leaving all of this in until you say goodbye properly to our listeners.
Yeah, we've been talking.
We was doing the out.
Thank you for listening.
It's like a
goodbye.
Nobody cares.
Don't forget to
Nobody cares.
give your time for a 5-star review on iTunes. Thank you for joining us.
They don't care,
Please share with
Adam.
your friends. Love
They
you.
won't write anything.
Love you. Love you. Love you.
Oh, we have to go on and do it ourselves just to look good. Do you know how many iTunes accounts I've got? I haven't even got an iPhone. Bye.
Bye.
properly.
Bye. Properly.
Bye properly.
I'm not making this a thing, so you ruin it whenever I say something. So I'm not helping you out, mate.
I'm not doing it anymore, I promise you.
Seeing you.
Good.